Well, good morning, KOTA territory. Welcome to First Sip at the on our social media. Sorry, geez, on YouTube and Facebook, exclusively streaming here after Good Morning Black Hills. You know, it's been a good morning so far. I mean, I've been having a fun time, kind of researching some of the stories we've had this week, and you know, kind of a little bit on last week, kind of making myself a little bit happier.
Yeah.
That happiness index. So, kind of. Thank you for joining us. I'm Giles-Sanchez.
And I'm Kate Robinson.
And we're here to kind of talk a little bit about some of the topics we've been covering so far on First Sip on our morning show. And kind of to start us off, some bad news when it comes to our furry friends here.
I know, yeah, it can, among with most things happening lately, the cost of owning a pet is also on the rise. Compared to last year, owning a dog has increased 7%, while owning a cat has increased 10%. So if you're like us and you own some felines, you might be looking at some extra expenses for that, you know. For 2025, in 2025, owning a dog, one single dog can cost around $1,400 to $5,200, while one cat costs around $750 to $3,500. So it really depends on their health, your kind of lifestyle you have for your pet and stuff like that. So yeah, kind of diving a little bit deeper. Last year, the average cost for either animal was about $1,500, but that, of course, can vary on many different things, including your initial costs. Springtime can be a heavy time for people to go and kind of look into adopting a pet, fostering an animal.
Because you know you want to have a nice friend or
right,
and kind of go out on walks with them if it's a dog, or maybe have a nice indoor friend for a cat or something.
Yeah, definitely it motivates people a little bit to get out of the house in this warmer weather, that's for sure. But those initial costs can actually be a little bit surprising to people who have maybe never owned a pet before. Some things, just adopting an animal, which tends to be the cheapest way to get a pet, can range anywhere from $50 to $500, and then if you're, you know, buying from a breeder, that's even more. And so that initial cost is pretty hefty if you're not expecting it, along with the vet bills that can come from adopting a pet, getting the correct food. It might take some trial and error to get them eating the correct pet food. You talked a little bit about this earlier, how your cat has to eat kind of a special food to take care of both her health and yours. So those things can kind of factor in when you're looking to get a pet before you even get a pet, and you're already spending money that you didn't know you would be.
Yeah, no, that's crazy because, you know, you mentioned like it rises kind of increasing, and I have seen that, you know, especially like you mentioned the food that I have to get specifically for not only my cat, not only for Mama, but also for myself because I'm allergic to her. So kind of to lessen those allergies, I have to feed her a specific food, specific brand of food, and you know, it helps kind of lessen the allergic reaction I have to it, and I have seen that increase. I mean, for goodness sakes, it went from $40 to, yes, it's only $7, but $40 to $47. I mean, that's still an increase to say the least. But what are some kind of general costs aside from some of the stuff that you mentioned, vet visits? Are there any other general costs that our viewers should kind of be aware of when it comes to these increases?
You know, one thing that's on the rise is grooming, due to, you know, supply and demand, of course, but also, you know, the cost of living is increasing. So if you're acquiring the services of somebody else, those prices are also on the rise to get your pets groomed. I'm lucky enough to have pets that don't necessarily need to go to the groomer, which is nice. But also you can factor in your pet insurance. That's also on the rise. If you opt to get insurance for your pets, which is a great idea, especially if you own multiple animals, it can be potentially one of the higher things that you're paying monthly for your pet, but of course will keep those emergency veterinarian costs kind of down overall. Some other things, you know, that factor into this are your location. If you're living in an apartment and you have to pay pet rent, that seems to be going up, and also rises with how many pets you have. So that can be kind of an unexpected turn if you're maybe moving from a house into an apartment in a different city and you're looking to bring your animals with you. That pet rent can kind of almost range up to $100 a month for just one animal. So it kind of is an unexpected expense to get a pet. And, you know, of course, those vet bills and your lifestyle, like if you need a dog sitter, a dog walker, or training classes to get your dog kind of eased into a new lifestyle. those can also kind of add up.
No, especially, and if you are planning to get get another furry, get a friend or some, kind of somebody to keep you, company, right? But if you are planning to get a pet anytime soon, please be sure to kind of do your research beforehand too,
Right.
especially with the prices. I know it's a huge responsibility. If it's a dog, if it's a cat, people say that it's less of a responsibility. Let me tell you right now, I think it might be equal.
Yeah.
Aside from having to go take them out every now and then, it's still a big responsibility because for what you have to do for a dog, you have to take them out, make sure that get that energy out. You also have to do that with cats, but also you have to pay for the litter if you do want for the cat as well, because you can't take them outside.
Yeah, and another thing I've noticed about my cats especially is if you keep things in their reach, they'll break it. Like they'll eat my plants. I will grow lettuce. Last year we were trying to grow lettuce inside to be able to take it outside. One of our cats would just hop up on the counter and eat it while we were gone. So it's just, the little stuff like that, knocked over a vase, not picking stuff up. So
pet-proof your place. Make sure you do your research ahead of time. Not only about the prices increasing, but also how you can better take care of your pet at home. And take care of your furry friends so they stay your furry friend for a good long time. But kind of switching gears here from kind of the cost of taking care of a furry friend, kind of a nice little companion, to kind of taking care of yourself, specifically when it comes to eating too fast. So kind of really quickly, we were talking about it earlier today on Good Morning Black Hills. So some people tend to, I'll say it right now, I was 100% one of these people that just gulp down my food as fast as I could because I wouldn't really put much thought to it. I was like, it's just something I need for every day and whatnot. But actually, it's pretty bad for you. Reason being is that you are more prone to kind of weight gain if you eat too fast, and also you don't get to enjoy some of that food. I mean, why would you not want to enjoy a nice, if you're having a steak, why wouldn't you want to enjoy every bite of that steak? Or if you're having a vegan or vegetarian dish, why would you not want to enjoy that dish longer?
Right.
Especially when it comes to foods, when it comes high in fiber, especially for those vegetables, you kind of want to make sure you are able to enjoy that food and kind of get as much as that fiber into your body. And have your body digest it easier. So the more you chew, the easier it is for your body to digest it, because when it finally hits your stomach, you're able to kind of digest it faster, more efficiently, and you get more of those nutrients that you might have not gotten if you would have just taken 1 or 2 bites and then go down your esophagus.
Yeah. So how fast is too fast? Like, what's the recommended amount of time you should take to eat a meal? And does it differ from meal to meal?
So as I mentioned, so usually the recommended amount is 20 to 30 minutes per meal. I know that sounds like a lot of time, especially having to sit down at the dinner table just eating and talking, but usually it does depend on the meal, right? If it's a high in fiber meal, you want to make sure that you are chewing your food a lot better. So high in fiber, high in protein. Vegetables, chew those as much as you can. Make sure you take your time with them. Meat, if you eat a lot of meat, you want to make sure you chew that thoroughly and also take your time with it. Because if you do this, you'll start to notice that your brain is actually kind of communicating with your body, being like, oh man, I'm eating something that's heavy. I should kind of start making sure that I only eat what I need, the energy that I need for the day.
Right, it kind of helps not feel so sluggish after your meal. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't, sometimes we have jobs that we might not be able to do that with, so we have to kind of scarf down our food per se. But if if that is the case, maybe kind of splitting up that meal kind of helps a little bit. Like maybe eating a little bit beforehand, and then if you have some more time, eat the next half on the other later on. But yeah, 20 to 30 minutes is kind of the go-to for eating. Less than that, you're kind of doing a little bit too much. Maybe you should kind of slow down a little bit. But something else that was really interesting that I didn't realize, and I know that this is me a lot of the time, and I know it was very popular when TV dinners were a big thing. I know it was very popularized then, but eating without technology. I'm a big offender when it comes to this, especially because of the tech aspect of it. I use my phone when it comes to that, unfortunately, which I need to stop doing. But that's a good a good thing to kind of stop using when you're eating, just because your brain isn't focused on the meal. It's focused on the tech gadget that you're using. I don't know, do you use your phone or watch anything while you're eating?
I typically do, and I haven't noticed that sometimes I get to eating a little bit fast, maybe like I'm in a rush, and it does make me feel like sluggish and more tired and a little bit heavier after eating. So I have kind of tried to make a conscious effort to slow down when I'm eating. And you know, sometimes if I have time, I do kind of like to pick up my book that I'm reading and read a little, because that definitely slows down. Because you know, if you're reading a full page, you can't eat and read at the same time. You know, you're going to spill on your book, you're going to lose track of time. So it's just kind of a good way to that I found to slow myself down, because yeah, when I use my phone, it kind of, I can just set it right there on the counter, don't even have to pick it up, and I can just eat away. And
you're also,
that's not good.
yeah, I was gonna say, and you're also savoring the meal too. I mean, come on. If you eat like I was gonna say, I know for a fact, I was telling you about this earlier, it's about, you know, me eating some fast food stuff. I actually sat down to kind of enjoy a fast food meal instead of actually eating it too fast. And I'm not a fast food fanatic anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's called fast food for a reason. Yes. For sure.
But kind of turning topics here, and it's, well, before I do that, recommend, you know, just if you end up doing this, just make sure to take your time and whatnot. That is the recommendation. Again, if it is all up to you to decide what you want to do with your food. But kind of switching topics to something else health related, alcohol. I know a lot of people tend to drink alcohol, and I know it's a big thing to kind of do, especially when you're younger. I know I am a big fan of going out and kind of enjoying a drink or two with some friends, and you know, it's a good time. But kind of a little bit of a thing, you maybe stick to 1 or 2 drinks while you're going out. Moderate yourself, especially when it comes to alcohol. Are you a heavy drinker?
I wouldn't say heavy, no. I do like to enjoy a beer here and there. I'm partial to beer over other forms of alcohol, and I do kind of, that might be a good thing, good or bad thing, pros and cons, but one thing I have noticed is that it's definitely a little bit harder to just chug a beer down, and it definitely makes you a little bit fuller. So yeah, only 1 or 2 of those is definitely kind of a great baseline for where I find myself if I want to go out and have a drink, for sure.
And hey, that is a-okay, because you know, according to the OHSU Center for Women's Health, so U.S. guideline says women should drink 1 drink, 14 grams, I forgot how much that is in ounces, but 1 drink per day. And that is because women's body composition, it's kind of different. Women tend to get more intoxicated faster, and they also tend to retain that higher level alcohol level longer than men. And for men, it's 2 drinks per day for men. Granted, you probably shouldn't be drinking every day.
Yeah.
But that is kind of the recommendation from the U.S. guideline, and according to the Center for Women's Health for OHSU. But kind of some really quick tips to kind of help you a little bit. If you do want to drink, maybe try drinking alcohol with dinner. That is something that I tend to do sometimes. You know, it kind of enhances the flavor, especially if you're drinking wine with certain foods.
Yeah. And it also might, again, kind of going back, help you slow down eating that meal if you're also enjoying a drink that you like as well.
Thank you for incorporating that, because I was about to say that. But yeah, no, 100%. That kind of helps you with the kind of slowing down while you eat as well. But also give alcohol-free nights a go. Maybe switch out to kind of maybe some non-alcoholic beverages, or maybe some virgin beverages. So instead of that Shirley Temple with alcohol, maybe you have that Shirley Temple, just a virgin Shirley Temple.
Right, yeah, I've been loving a mocktail myself recently.
Mocktails, there we go. You can also try out to reduced alcohol beverages. Maybe don't give that nice cocktail a try. Maybe try something a little less heavy.
Yeah, you know, something I've actually noticed recently, kind of at breweries and wineries in the areas, they're noticing, or they're incorporating some lower ABV alcoholic beverages, kind of in the 2%. So that can also be another great option if you're kind of looking to scale back but don't want to like cut it out.
Exactly.
Totally.
And maybe also have a friend kind of keep track of how much you drink. You know, if you do have a designated driver while you're going out, which is recommended, maybe have them like, hey, you've drank a little too much. You know, kind of have them help you a little bit, so that way it's not it doesn't end up hurting you later on throughout the night. But also, reason why you want to keep focusing on this is because of your brain health. Over time, excessive drinking can cause various mental issues. It can decrease mental ability. It can kind of affect your memory and emotions, regulate those emotions. But, you know, if you drink the recommended amount, it is unlikely that stuff like that, persistent drinking, will happen, but it is still there. I mean, that likeliness is still there, the percentage is still there. But in order to avoid those lasting effects, you kind of want to make sure that you are limiting your drinking habits and kind of maybe start changing those if you do notice that you're maybe drinking a little bit too much.
Yeah, everything in moderation.
Yes.
That's what we say around here.
Yes.
Well, switching to our last topic here, from alcohol, indulging in alcohol, to, you know, maybe those nights out are getting a little expensive. You want to maybe have some more free time with your friends, some more ways to take the burden off of, you know, kind of your finances.
Yeah, have a little extra income for yourself.
Yeah, there are some ways that you can definitely look to supplement your income here, especially during the spring and summer season. There are a lot of temporary seasonal work that you can get into if you're looking to supplement your income that way. You can kind of get into trades and services like plumbing or electrical work, especially during the summer if you're good with HVAC systems and you're looking to make a little extra money, kind of helping people around your neighborhood or looking into kind of a part-time shift there. Some other things, you know, are working at a local, you know, restaurant, working at a local tour shop, a local, you know, climbing gym or something like that, to kind of help build your income there. Some online things that you can check out too if you're looking to, you know, find a little extra money while you're scrolling online, is to just freelance services like writing, graphic design, web development, or virtual assistants if you have an expertise in any of those. And another way is tutoring or teaching online as well if you excel in a specific subject, or you're looking to just maybe reach kids in a different way through summer school and stuff like that. Teaching online is a great platform. My mom actually does that to help herself in the summer. She's a teacher, so stuff like that. And photography, videography, if you're, you know, got skills. And that way, photograph your friend's wedding or something like that can be a great way to supplement your income as well.
I know during college I did a lot of, well, not a lot of it, but I did 1 or 2 gigs when it came to photography just because I was able to kind of do that, and just freelance photography is always a fun time, especially around here. I've seen a lot of the work that some of our viewers that send in their pictures, great pictures. I'm like, oh man, I wish I could kind of give you a little bit of something for that picture because it's so nice.
Right, and especially if you can like make money through one of your hobbies, that's a great way to do it as well. Now, some traditional side jobs, if you're kind of looking towards that direction, you can get into rideshare driving with Uber and Lyft, or even our taxi companies that we have here, food delivery through, what do we have, DoorDash here?
Yes, it's DoorDash.
You can become a DoorDash driver. You can get into babysitting or pet sitting. It kind of seems like pet sitters are in high command and making a few extra bucks these days with those high pet costs. So that might be a good one to get into. There's also, with Instacart, you can grocery shop for people, make a few extra bucks there. Those things kind of might take up time, but they're a little more low maintenance, not as physically demanding as some of the other things we mentioned.
I'll tell you right now, I definitely will need a pet sitter here come May, because I'll be in Alaska and Mama's going to need a pet sitter.
Yeah,
so
definitely going to need someone to watch that.
For that. Yes.
If anybody's looking for a job.
Right? But is there anything else our viewers should know kind of regarding where can they kind of find these jobs if they're looking at website-wise? I know we have some on our website, correct?
Yeah, we do have a job list on our website. You can also check out places like Indeed, job boards, if you're looking for specific businesses, or if you're looking for restaurants, you can kind of go to that restaurant's website and find stuff there. But there are definitely some ways if you're looking to do stuff online, kind of building your brand, building a portfolio, and then just kind of sending it into the ether is a great way to teach people about what you can do and show people what you can do if you're looking to be a photographer or anything like that.
It should be an exciting time for some of our viewers, especially with a lot of the seasonal jobs opening around here in the Black Hills. It's really great. I'm excited. I'm excited for everyone around the Black Hills to kind of start working together and getting the community going.
Yeah, that's right.
It's starting to wake up.
That's right. I know. It's getting green out there.
I was going to say, next thing you know, you're just going to hear the motorcycles roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is all we have to you on First Sip. Thank you for joining us here on KOTA Now. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday morning. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for your midweek weather update. But for now, I'm Humberto Giles-Sanchez.
And I'm Kate Robinson. Have a good day.